Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to this another episode of Fond Memories of Srila Gurudev. By the unlimited mercy of our dear Srila Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupada Stotasa Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and all our Guru Parampara, all the Vaishnavas, we are able to organize this program. And today we have a very special guest with us from other side of the world, but living in this country now. And it is said that it is very rare to have human birth, and then even more rare to have satsang. It's a very rare thing to get satsang, and if you get satsang only for a second, it can deliver you from this material world. It is so powerful. So today, the guest we have is born in a devotee family, and she's been having satsang her entire life, from her very birth until today, and maybe till the end of her life she'll be in satsang. So you can imagine how
I hope
much
so.
you can imagine how much she has gained by that satsang, the power of satsang, staying in company of devotees, of gurus, of Vaishnavas. Her whole family is Vaishnav. Her father is initiated by Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupada Stotasa Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Srila Swami Maharaj Ji. So all her environment around her life has been an environment of devotion, and she's immersed in it fully. And she's a very senior disciple of our Srila Gurudev. She met Srila Gurudev for the first time in 2001. And I've been seeing her since then, and we know her. She was very prominent during all the parikramas of Srila Gurudev. And she is also an artist. She does plays and dramas, and most of the time she would become Krishna. So I remember her very clearly putting dark color on her face and looking like Krishna, because she is tall, very tall. And she has very personal relation with Srila Gurudev, many photographs. She met her, she traveled with her on his world tour, which is a very rare thing to do. Not many people have done this. And she was raised in ISKCON. Now she lives in Vrindavan, India, with her two kids, and serve at Radhe Kunj temple in Vrindavan. And she also lived for 5 years in Mathura, Shri Keshavji Gaudi Math, very long time. I've seen people who have been delivered or who have been put on the path by Srila Gurudev only by one meeting. And here we have a devotee today who has lived with Gurudev for 5 years continuously, that too in Mathura, which is very austere at that time. Those people who are old, they would know that the water is very hard. If you take shower, your hair will become like very hard. And it is not very easy to live in those austere conditions. And she, being from Canada, raised and in very luxurious condition, I suppose, and then coming to Vrindavan and living in such austere conditions, it is not an easy task. In India now, we are all looking towards West. We all want to go to US, Canada. We want to send our kids there. But here we have a devotee from Canada who has come to India and made India her home, made Vrindavan her home, and who's very happy to be here among the devotees, and who is immersed in bhajan, who has been put in this path by Srila Gurudev. And she's very nicely following it, doing her seva, a lot of seva she's doing. Not only she's doing herself, but her kids are also into this. So it's a very good environment. We all should learn from her. We'll hear from her today, her journey, about her life, how the life changed by Srila Gurudev, how he molded her life and put her very steady on this path. So we should go back to our Sanskriti, our culture. Like now we're all looking west, but we should take an example. All the Westerners are looking towards India now. And the wealth we have here, I remember Gurudev saying, I asked him when he came from his first world tour, I asked him, Gurudev, how was your tour? How was your experience in Mathura? And he said, I told them everywhere, wherever I went, that I have not come from poor India, like our politicians go with begging bowls, and then they ask for money or ask for some investment in this country. But I've come from a rich India, which is very, very wealthy and which has been a world guru all the time, which has been world guru all the time. Sorry, some mics are on. I will just mute. So that's what Gurudev said. And he said, I've come here to give you something, not to take anything from this country. I have no interest, but I want to help everyone. I was very happy in Vrindavan. I was immersed in my bhajan. I was really, really satisfied and happy. But my Guru Parampara, my Guru work, they ordered me. So I'm following their orders. And then I've come to help each and everyone. And she's one of the lucky souls who has been helped by Srila Gurudev. So let's hear from her. Her name is Srimati Krishna Priya Didi. Dandat Pranam Krishna Priya Didi. Welcome on this program.
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for having me.
Great. So let's hear from you, maybe from very beginning, how it all happened,
Okay.
how you came to this place where you are, what got you here, what inspired you, how Gurudev loved you, and how he chastised you also sometimes, maybe, I don't know. So you want to
I
hear
was
everything?
thinking if I should tell those stories or not, but let's see.
Yeah, we would like to hear all the stories. And there is no time limit. You can speak your heart out. We are ready for you to sit whole day, maybe if you want. We want to hear eagerly. Yeah,
Thank
you can
you.
go.
One day I'm Shri Guru Ram Shri So I was listening to some Hari Katha yesterday on Gurudev's appearance day, and some of the devotees and Vaishnavas, they were saying that you were just speaking about how Gurudev, he was in Mathura, because his Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj.
Didi, can I stop you for 1 minute? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just one thing I want to say for our Hindi listeners, जो लोग हिंदी
Yes.
में इसको सुनना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए इसका लाइव ट्रांसलेशन हमारे फेसबुक पेज पे है, फॉन्ड मेमोरीज ऑफ श्रील गुरुदेव. अंग्रेजी में आप टाइप करके सर्च कर सकते हैं और वहां पे आप इसको हिंदी में सुन सकते हैं. दीदी क्या कह रही हैं हमारे हिंदी भाषी लोगों के लिए, तो आप लोग वहां जाके सुन सकते हैं. धन्यवाद. Sorry to interrupt, Didi. Sorry, you can start.
No problem. Yeah. So the Vaishnavas were saying how Gurudev was very. I'm going to ride off what you were saying about how Gurudev was very happy in Mathura. He was doing his seva there, and actually, before Srila Gurudev came to the West, he was. I was speaking to the Mathura Basis yesterday. They were all having memories of Gurudev, and they said before he came to the West to rescue us, he was working very hard in Mathura, because in Keshavji Gaudiya Math, back in those days, all the Mathura Basis were telling yesterday in Harikatha, they were saying that in the beginning, when Gurudev was there, this is like 70s, 80s, even before, that they were scared. They said that these are Bengali people. They do jadoo, black magic. So be careful, don't go to Keshavji Gaudiya Math. So Gurudev, one of his specialities is that there was one Vaishnava Damodar Prabhu, he sings on all the parikramas, and he was having so many memories. But he took this Braj culture, this Brajabash, and he used to take Krishnadas Prabhu, the singer, and Damodar Prabhu. And Gurudev worked so hard, even before he came to the West, because he was in Mathura and everybody just believed, oh, Krishna is Dwarkadish Krishna, and they all worshipped him with this Ashwarya Bhav. Nobody knew, oh, he's Nandanandan, Yasodanandan Krishna. And so Gurudev used to go every day. They said he used to go door to door, house to house, and he would do these Braj Kirtans and give this Braj Harikatha. And he used to steal everybody's hearts, but he worked very hard before he even came to the West, like even in India here in Mathura, because many Indian, like if we have a large Indian audience, many Indian people think, oh, Krishna is son of Vasudev. He was born in Mathura and then he was taken to Vrindavan. But Gurudev would go door to door, house to house, and sometimes even in the evening he would come back at 11, 12 at night, and he would give this Braj Kirtan and Braj Hari Kirtan, explain how no, Krishna is actually the son of Mother Yasoda and Nanda Baba, and how we have to worship him with the sweetness mood, how he is this this Ashwarya Bhav is not the highest thing. This Braj Bhav is actually the highest. So I thought that was very sweet that, you know, a lot of our stories, they start after Gurudev came to the West, but there's so much, Gurudev, he toiled very hard and very difficult to just even make this foundation to bring us Westerners to come to India, to come on Vrajmanda Parikrama and everything. So then they said
that's very true. I think Gurudev from 1950s to 96, he went for the first time to abroad. So all these years, he was very happy in himself and among Brajvasis. And then only he started, yeah, correct, very right.
And he was stealing all the hearts of the Mathura Vasis, and they loved him so much. And slowly, everybody was coming to Keshavji Gaudiya Math, and then one day he was all the disciples and ISKCON, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and everything. They hadn't had this high class sadhu sangha in so many years, and so the Vaishnavas were saying how they were crying, they were weeping, feeling like there's some dryness in my life, that I'm missing some sadhu sangha, I'm missing some pure guidance. So Gurudev, he came to, even myself, I grew up in ISKCON, and I didn't know anything. I had some taste for going to the temple, but I wasn't very interested in the philosophy. I thought, oh, I know everything. I just chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead.
So which ISKCON did you grew up? Which place?
In Vancouver. They also have a community Sharanagati farm in Vancouver. So when I was younger, we used to always watch Mahabhagwat and Ramayana. My father would teach us Bhagavad Gita, and I used to watch this Hindi movie called Mirabai with Hema Malini. Mere to Giridhar Gopal, dusta o na koi. So I always had this idea that, oh, I want to marry Krishna, like Mirabai. And even on the movie, she said this thing, oh, I'm jealous of Radharani and this and that. So I didn't have any idea about this mood of Braj. So anyhow, I grew up, I knew Bhagavad Gita, I knew all the basics, but I also had this longing, this prayer, like I want Sadguru, I want to meet a pure Vaishnava. And I always thought in my life, unless I meet somebody like Srila Prabhupada, I will not take diksha or harinam, because I want this high caliber guru, and I will not settle for anything less. And so I was lucky. My father used to always read us books from Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and he also had some association with him. So at that time, and Srila Golok Vrindavan Maharaj as well, I was reading some of his books, and Srila Bhakti Vallabh Puri Maharaj, many beautiful Vaishnavas. So I had in my mind that I want this type of guru. So anyhow, Gurudev's in India. He's hearing the cries of all us distressed souls who are calling out to him. And also Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, when he was leaving this planet, Gurudev did his samadhi. And he said, please help my disciples. And actually they had such a beautiful relationship, which was amazing. So my first interaction with Srila Gurudev before I even met him, I was at the ISKCON temple, and they were handing out this one pamphlet. They said, oh, one Narayan Maharaj is coming to Vancouver. You should not go see him. And
this is ISKCON Vancouver, right?
It was free advertising for Gurudev. Everybody, don't go. You know the song, don't go to Keshi Ghat, otherwise you'll see Krishna, you know. Don't listen to his flute. And the gopis of Vrindavan, they're saying to the young lead brides, don't look at that black snake, Krishna, you'll become crazy. So I thought, oh, there must be something here, because they're so aggressive in their preaching against. And I remember they were always saying that about Bhakti Rakshak Maharaj. Don't go and see him, you know, you might lose your heart. You might. so I thought, okay, I will have to check him out. So a few of his disciples came beforehand. Kishori Mohan, Sudevi, and Vishaka Didi. They came to Salt Spring Island. Prem Prayojan at the time, he came to my house and he gave some beautiful Hari Katha. And I was completely surprised. This is the first time I'm attracted to Hari Katha. So then I saw one photo of Gurudev in the songbook. And I was so attracted that I actually ripped Gurudev's photo out of the songbook and I put it on my altar. Oh. And I started doing puja and I started praying to him. And then I looked on my bookshelf and no one had given me a book. I never had any connection to Gurudev. And I saw this book, Going Beyond Vaikuntha. It just magically appeared in my home. I don't no idea how. So then I read this book, Going Beyond Vaikuntha, where Gurudev speaks about all the different levels. It's actually the perfect book for me at the time. And how our ultimate goal is to go to Golok Vrindavan and be in this relationship with Krishna with this mood of sweetness. And so I was very attracted to that. So Gurudev, he finally came to Vancouver. I feel like he came just for me. Every one of his disciples feels like, oh, he came just for me here. But I feel like definitely he came there just for me because I was very eager to meet him. My heart was crying. I would pray to Radha and Krishna every day, like, please send somebody to me to help me. I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew I was crying. So when he came, he spoke in the Vedic Culture Center and he spoke in Hindi. And I didn't realize that I actually understand Hindi because I grew up watching Mahabhagwat and Ramayana. So he started speaking about Krishna Leela and I was surprised. Oh, I understand what he's saying. I can follow along. And he was singing, he said, whether you're traveling in your car, always sing Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. If you're fighting with your husband and wife, always sing Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. Be like the gopis of Vrindavan, that no matter what they're doing in their life, just sing Govinda Damodar Madhaveti. This is one special mantra that Gurudev gave to everybody. This beautiful glories of Braj. So my heart was immediately melted. When I first saw him at the airport, I ran up to him with a rose and I handed it to him, my very first meeting. And I looked in his blue eyes and I just started weeping. That's just what Gurudev did to everybody. Just one glance and you're finished. I was weeping and he was laughing at me, but he didn't say anything at the airport. He just took my rose like this. I felt like that's the moment he took my heart, it was his flower, and he put it in his pocket. And so in the Vedic Culture Center, one of my friends introduced me to Gurudev in a big crowd. And she said, oh, Gurudev, my name was Preeti at the time, Preeti. And then he said, oh, have you been initiated? And I was like, no. And my friend Lola, she said, oh, Gurudev, she's been waiting for you. And then Gurudev got very grave and serious. He looked in my eyes and said, I have also been waiting for you. Wow. And I was like completely lost my mind. I just started like weeping and weeping. I didn't know what happened to me. Everyone's like, what happened? Are you okay? And I ran into the bathroom and for 1 hour I was just crying. My tears were flowing and I was like, I don't know what happened to me. I feel like I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know who this person is. And I knew one thing for sure. I said, my life is completely changed from this day, completely changed. So I had just graduated college. I went to university for film studies, actually. Wow. I wanted to get into production. I wanted to make some production, Ramayana and Mahabharata and to do this type of thing. But my heart was lost. My heart got stolen. And
I think you can make a movie about Srila Gurudev, about his life. It was a good idea.
Yes, definitely. It needs to be done. So Gurudev came to Salt Spring Island. This was in 2001. And he gave such a beautiful program that like every day I was just weeping. And he was so sweet. And I have one really funny memory is we were taking the ferry over to the island and Gurudev was sitting in his car because you could ride your car onto the ferry. And he was joking with us. It's kind of random and sweet. It's just one thing I remember. And he was smiling so much. And then he said, look, you see, I have all my teeth. Most old men, they have all their teeth are gone. But me, I have all my teeth. It's like so he was such a he's like a Mahabhagwat coming from Golok Vrindavan, but he's relating to us like we're like his children, like small puppies, you know. And he was so sweet, and he was always speaking about the glories of Raj. And with me, he was always joking around. And in Salt Spring Island, I took Harinam immediately, and he was just amazing. He was when I took Harinam, and usually he wraps the beads around your neck, but for me they were already wrapped, and he pushed them down my head like this and gave me blessings. And at that time I was just like always crying. And then I was speaking to one devotee.
How old were you that time?
17 years old. Just a baby.
So maybe in the school only, right? Or university school?
I graduated high school when I was 16, and I had just finished the 1 year of college university for film. So right before Gurudev came, it was literally 2 or 3 weeks. I had just graduated my film course, so I was free. So one of my friends, she said, you know, Gurudev's I think he was in his 80s, or she's like, he's in his 80s. You don't know how long he's going to be. You have to spend every moment you can with Gurudev. And this really, really affected me, because I said, and then Gurudev would always say, if there's some sadhu sangha available, you have to run after it like you're on fire, and sadhu is the water. So he said, if you're on fire and there's some sadhu sangha available, right now we're burning in this material existence. So the one and only thing we can do to put out this burning fire is to be in sadhu sangha. And this really affected me. And then he said, another thing he said, if you have full faith in Krishna, that he will protect you and take care of you, he will make all arrangements for you. So you don't need to worry about taking care of your family, taking care of your money, working a job, all these things you can do. But the most important thing in our life is to go for sadhu sangha, because whatever karma, whatever money is coming to us, automatically it will come anyways. So if it's our karma to be rich, money will come automatically. If it's our karma to be poor, we can make so much endeavor our whole life, but anyhow, money won't come. So most important thing is we do what we can to maintain, but at the same time, sadhu sangha. So I said, okay, and one devotee said, what if he leaves next month? Then what will you do? You will think like, oh, I never spent any time with him. So this was my one driving force, that no, I'll do or die. I have to be with Gurudev or sadhu sangha at all times. So I ended up borrowing money here, there, and everywhere, asking everybody. But I got on the world ticket with Gurudev. So I got on the same ticket as Gurudev. It was a round the world ticket.
Wow. So that was when you were 17 years old, right?
Yes, by myself. It was, but it wasn't by myself, because I was traveling with Gurudev's party. Yeah. So we would go to the airports with Gurudev, wherever we were traveling.
You must be the youngest member in that party, I guess.
There was quite a few of the girls at that time, like in Badger, Radha Priya, Madhaveti, like we were all young. And
adventurous girls, I must say.
All the New Raj community, yeah. There was many young people and many Prabhupada disciples, but we were all we were very enthusiastic. In every single town Gurudev went to, I remember the first time I saw this drama plays, which were very famous, was in Badger Festival, and Prem Prayojan at the time was doing a play of Raghunath Das Goswami. And as he was doing the play, I never experienced this in my life. We did some drama plays as well in Vancouver for Gurudev. That was very sweet, and he really liked them. He always gave us blessings. But the one that really touched me was Raghunath Das Goswami. And, you know, the actors were on stage, and Gurudev's mood was coming to them, and they were weeping. And Gurudev was just sitting there in his chair and wiping his tears and just like deeply weeping at the separation moves of Raghunath Das Goswami. And I was so new, I didn't know any tattva really at all. And I looked around, and there was not one person in the audience who wasn't also just tears flowing from their eyes. And you can imagine, like, I grew up in ISKCON and never experienced anything like this in my life. Like all the plays and dramas I'd ever seen, these were just for entertainment or some knowledge about Mahabharata or something. So I was very deeply affected. And one time in Lake Washington, Radha Priya Dasi was doing a play about Bilvabandhu Thakur, and Gurudev was just weeping and weeping, and he left this cloth there after that he was wiping his tears with. So I went and I grabbed it and I kept this cloth so many years. This is the cloth that Gurudev was weeping in. Like, this is like the most priceless thing you can ever imagine. But I feel like Gurudev is like the sun, and even we didn't know so much tattva. I was very new, that whoever came to him, he was like the sun, and just one drop of his mood would come in our hearts, and we would be completely immersed in this bliss. Like, for example, when my good Mathura Bhati friends, she was 13 when she came to Gurudev, and she said, from the time I met Gurudev until 2015, she said, I didn't even know what the outside world was. She said, I was completely immersed in this Harikatha Gurudev. He completely stole my heart. And she said, after when I got thrown into this material world, after he left, she said, I was completely shocked. She said, Gurudev's moods and what he gave, even we didn't know anything, just being immersed in his Harikatha, it was like he's bringing us to Golok Vrindavan. And even now, through his videos, through his disciples, through his books, through his teachings, everything he's doing is, we can also be immersed. And they say that there's many devotees now that haven't met Gurudev, actually, or even the audience if they didn't meet him, but Gurudev, through his books, through his Harikatha, through this shiksha, because it's not just about his diksha disciples. Gurudev came to give this, like, they call it parakiya shishya. They're disciples, they can be disciples of anybody, but what he's giving is this braja prem, this love. So in our Guru Parampara, there's this shiksha. Not everyone in our Guru Parampara, like you can see, they're all not diksha disciples. We have 6 Goswamis. These are all, shiksha and diksha both together. So this is the important thing. If we're following Gurudev's words, if we're connected to him through his teachings and his books, he spent months and months every year writing in Hawaii. He would sit on the beach and he would write for hours every day. And he said, this is for the future generations. These are like his grandkids. So he's very merciful. If anybody's praying to him, anybody's writing to him, he's even more merciful to the next coming generations, because he's like grandfather. Like, I feel like Srila Prabhupada is my grandfather. He's so merciful to me because I'm like his grandkid. So same with Gurudev, more merciful to his grandkids. In Hawaii, when Gurudev would be writing his books there, he would be completely absorbed. And I remember one time I was in Hawaii. This was after, this is not in order, but this is after I spent a little time in India, then I came back to tour a little bit more with him. But I was distributing books in Waikiki, Hawaii. And Gurudev, he was omniscient, he's pure guru, he knows everything. And my mind was a little disturbed because I was out distributing books every day, and there would be a lot of like males hitting on me, like, because I was a young girl. I was, I had this kind of shakti from Gurudev, so people were very attracted to Harikatha and books. And so after one day, so many people were kind of disturbing me. Like, I was trying to distribute books, and they would say, "Oh, you want to go on a date, or you want?" And I was like, "Oh my God!" And so I went to Gurudev, and he was in Hawaii writing at that time. And anytime I had a problem, he would always say, yes, like without me even asking. He knew there was some problem. He'd say, what? And then I said, Gurudev, my mind is so disturbed. Maya's attacking me from all around. I don't know what to do. And then there's so many boys I'm trying to do book distribution. They're always like disturbing me what to do. And he was swinging. I don't know if anyone's seen that picture of him swinging on the swing. He loved to swing on the swing. And then Gurudev, then there was the beach there. It was the morning time. The sun was coming up. And then he just looked off and then he started weeping. And he said, and he sang the song like Shri Krishna Gopala Hare Mukunda Govinda He Nanda Kishore Krishna Kashi Yasoda Tanaya Prasita Shri Ballavi Ji Manaradi Desha. And he was singing and weeping, and we were all weeping. And he said, now you see, he said, if you're even 1 minute, if you can imagine the beauty of Krishna, how merciful he is, how gorgeous he is. He's standing in Vrindavan in Tribhanga form. And he said, all the beauty of this world, all this, it was the sunset, there was the ocean, it would look like we were in the heavenly planets. He said, this is nothing compared to like one drop of the beauty of Krishna. And he said, if you just meditate on this moment, this mood, he said, and Maya could never touch you. He said, this is nothing compared to the beauty of Krishna. So this was something that all in 1 second, this is really Sadhguru. He can take all like your lust, anger, greed, anarthas, just in 1 second, just by his one tear or one merciful glance, and everything was like completely gone. That's how Gurudev was. He was always preaching, this is why we have to be in sadhu sangha. So I want to come to India a little bit. When I was after the world tour with Srila Gurudev, we came to Keshavaji Gaudiya Math, and I remember my first time in Vrindavan. I went to Rupa Goswami Samadhi, and Gurudev was teaching the speciality of Rupa Goswami, and I felt like, oh, I'm so fortunate to be here in Vrindavan, to be in the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami, to be in the place where Srila Prabhupada did all his bhajan, where Gurudev would go and cook chapatis with Srila Prabhupada. So he gave all these memories there. And then he took us to Keshavaji Gaudiya Math. And at that time, there were like no Western people there, because this was 2001. Few Western people, but all the sannyasis and everybody lived together there. And Gurudev would stay from Julan Yatra till after Kartik in Mathura. And Ban Maharaj, Tirtha Maharaj, Madhav Maharaj, Uma Didi, everybody was all in this tiny little temple. And there was actually the women mostly at that time, they stayed in Vrindavan. And then I said, Gurudev, how can I stay in Vrindavan? It was about a 45-minute drive away. I said, I have to stay here with you. I said, just until after Radhastami Janmashtami, only a few months, please, just let me stay here. I can rent any room. I won't give any problem. Okay, just for a few months. So every day after his morning walk. So I came actually, it was during Julan Yatra, so July, and then August, my birthday came around. I'll show you this. I think this picture I sent to you.
Okay.
I have it.
So
I have it right now.
I want to ask you where, so this is on her birthday. I want to ask you, you stayed in the mutt or you stayed outside?
So there was many Mathura Basis, and they would rent rooms. So only like in the mod is here, right next, same gully, we were there.
Oh, okay.
But eventually, we were given a ladies' ashram right behind the temple. Because I turned 1 month, one more month, Gurudev, just until after Kartik, one more. I always used to ask him every couple of months, just 1 more month. And then I had a group of girls that would stay. And then Tirtha Maharaj and Premananda Prabhuji, they would give us some seva for pot washing and cutting sabji and doing some seva. So we kept very engaged in the temple, which was very nice. So Gurudev always saw we were doing seva. And he always gave us permission, and eventually we got our own brahmacharini ashram in the back, so we were very fortunate, but small group of girls, because it was very austere.
I have a lot of pictures for Krishna Priya Ji. You want me to show the pictures now or later?
You can show if you like, no problem.
Okay, so you can talk about them, how and where they were taken. So I'm going to display the pictures now.
Yeah, I believe this is in Russia. So Gurudev was on the Russia tour in 2001. And when we went there, they were very poor devotees. And so they could only make like this carrot soup and these things, even though carrots were forbidden. But Gurudev said, "Oh, you guys are Russian." It's a very dilapidated building, but hundreds and hundreds, I think even thousands of Russian devotees, they came, they took Harinam, they came diksha. They were so inspired by Gurudev. And one of my close friends, Anandini, I met her here, and she was so excited to meet Gurudev. And I said, "When you meet him, you will weep." I said, "Your life will change. You will cry and cry and cry." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And she came at this time and she met Gurudev. And when she met him, she just, same thing. She was just crying and crying and crying. Even to this day, she remembers, "You told me that he will steal my heart." You know, everyone used to give him flowers. So Gurudev was taking everyone's heart and putting them in their pocket. This was in like Moscow, Russia, 2001.
Okay. Where are you in this one? I cannot see you.
I'm in the blue gamsha right beside Gurudev.
Oh, right in the front. Okay. All right.
Right behind the baby there. That's me.
Yeah, yeah, look different. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to show the next one. This is a video. Is this a video?
No, go before the newspaper clip, the one before this. So this is in Mathura. Every year on Radhastami and Janmashtami, Gurudev used to make us do a drama play. So, and this drama play, we made it in the Indian newspaper headlines that the Videshis are coming to Mathura, and we're doing some Radha Krishna Leela. So in this song, we're singing, as Krishnadas Prabhu is singing the song, Shri Radhe Rani De Daro Na Bansuri Meri. And so Radharani, she's stealing Krishna's flute, and Krishna's begging her, "Oh, Radharani, please give me my flute back." And Gurudev was so happy when we would do these leelas, because he would become completely immersed. And one thing about doing the drama plays for Gurudev is every time we used to do the drama plays, he was so happy. He'd always bless us. "Oh, you should get Radha Dasyam. You will get the mercy of Radharani." He gave us so many blessings. He would always become completely immersed. And because of his immersion, that all the devotees, they felt like they were transported to like Golok Vrindavan. Even the actors in the play, we didn't know what was happening. We would just be completely transformed just from Gurudev's mercy, just from Gurudev's mood would come through.
So this was in Govardhan or where? Mathura?
Keshavji Gaudiman, you can see in the back the photos hanging on the wall.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Keshav. Every year on Radhastami and Janmashtami, we would do some drama play with all the Western people, and all the Mathura Vasis. They loved it so much.
But a very nice picture. You look like real Krishna there.
This is Gurudev's Kripa. He is very merciful. This is in Hawaii. The story I told about, we would go on book distribution. So this was actually a really funny story. We were in Hawaii, and you could see, I'm just in the corner. Gurudev's looking at me, but you can see this flower garland. So we were doing book distribution, and we were wearing these flower garlands, and I was wearing gopi dots and some, like, very dressed up. And then Gurudev said, in this exact moment, he said, "Oh, are you an Apsara from heaven?" And I said, "No, Gurudev, what?" We were so embarrassed. And he said, "Yes, you look like Apsara." And then I asked him after, I said, "What do you mean? I don't want to be an Apsara in heaven." He said, "Vaishnavas shouldn't dress too richly and too fancy." He said, "Vaishnavas should be more simple." He said, "Be very clean and dress very simply. You don't need so much jewels. You don't need to wear so much makeup and flowers. That this is not the type of thing we're trying to, identify with our body so much. We want to be clean. We want to be simple." So after that, I tried to be more simple and not not attract people with jewelry and flowers and this and that, because we're not some Apsara in heaven. We are Vaishnavas, and Vaishnavas have more simple life. Clean and simple, he said. This is in Canada, actually. This is my friend Radha Dasi. Actually, I think this was a little later in 2000. Maybe it's in California. I can't remember. It's on one of the world tours.
Oh.
But Gurudev is blessing everybody, and you can see our faces. We were just completely, just by his darshan, just by being in his presence, everyone felt like we we're transported to a different world. This was in Govardhan. This is a very funny story. You can see me, I have a bandage on my head.
Oh.
So one time during the Rajmanda Parikrama, the bus was driving through a field, and the field was on fire. Like the Indian people, they like to burn their crops, as you know. And so the bus, there was so much smoke that the bus ended up hitting this camel cart. And so he was stuck. And so then, you know, and when you're going on Rajmanda Parikram, all the fields and everything. So the fire started coming up, the flames started shooting up one side of the bus. And other side of the bus, there was also fire. So the whole bus was filling with smoke. And everyone was saying, oh, get out of the bus, get out of the bus. And so you couldn't go out through the front door because there was a big fire. And so everyone's okay, just jump out the window. So everybody was okay. They jumped out the window and to the part of the field that wasn't on fire. But of course, I happened to jump to the spot. There was a big boulder rock. So I hit my head and I cracked it open. And they had to carry me, and I got stitches in my head. And then I went to Gurudev, and he saw me in this picture. Is when you could see my friend Janaki is pointing at me, and she's telling Gurudev, today Krishna Priya jumped out of the Parikram bus and cracked her head open.
What he said?
He said, oh, very good, very good. He said, now all your anarthas are going away, no problem. Another time I almost drowned in Jagannath Puri in the riptide when we were in Jagannath Puri. And Gurudev said, oh, if you passed away, then we will put you in samadhi like Haridas Thakur. We will grow one tulsi on top of your body. He always was joking around with me. Basically, don't take these things so seriously. It's no problem. So I'm on the very left here in this Mayavad Tilak.
Oh.
So this is in Holland in 2001. We did this, we were doing one drama play about the Guru Tattva. There's the story about, I think the Guru, he had this disciple, Abhimanyu, told him don't drink the cow milk, and then he didn't. He told him so many things. Eventually he got blind, and then the Gurudev came and he saved him. Because the disciple was so dedicated to Gurudev, he gave him all Tattva Gyan. So we did this drama play, and this is Gurudev after giving some blessings. He was very encouraging, very sweet.
Yeah.
Every time we did drama play.
Upmanyu story, Upmanyu, right?
I think Upamanyu story, yes. I'm not sure because I have this strange feeling, but I did so many drama plays, actually, I don't remember. This is also Gurudev giving some blessings. I think this is in Eugene. Actually, when I was on the American tour here one time, Gurudev, we always hear the story, and I always think this is my story, but maybe he said to many people as well. But this is in this particular case, we were in a darshan, and then he said, "Oh, do you want to be a queen of Dwarka?" And I said, "No, Gurudev. Do you want to go to the heavenly planets?" "No." He said, "Oh, you want to go to Ayodhya?" "No, Gurudev, I don't." He said, "Okay, I know. You want to go and you want to be a Sakti with Krishna." I said, "No, Gurudev." He said, "Then what do you want?" "Oh, I want to be the Palyadasi of Radharani." "Oh, very good, very good." He says, "See, now you have advanced." After only a few months of knowing me, that you know everything, you know what is the goal. Because Gurudev always said, if you're traveling somewhere and you're on a train or an airplane, first you have to set your goal. What is your goal? Because this was one problem in my life. I was telling before about Mirabai. We don't know. I want to be Dwarkadish. I want to go to Nishringa Loka. I want to go to, I don't know. But if we set our goal, Gurudev said, I wrote on all your hearts, Palyadasi. You are all the Palyadasi, because otherwise we wouldn't be attracted. Except for a few, he said, like you would look on the audience and you said, all of you are Palyadasis, except you are Ram Bhakta. So he knew automatically this is Sadguru actually. He knows he knows past, present, future. He can see. That's why when Gurudev looked at everyone, they can see, oh, he knows my past, present, future. He knows my souls. He sees your soul's form. He doesn't just see this material body. So he's very, this is a symptom of Mahabhagwat Guru.
So who was the Ram Bhakt there?
Some Indian devotees, they,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
It happened on a few different occasions where I saw him during Harinam or Diksha, or sometime he would say, oh, you're Paliyadasi of Radharani, you're Paliyadasi. And another time, oh, you are actually Ram Bhakta. And he would say, you can worship Lord Ram. He would give them, because Gurudev also, before he came, when he was a young boy, he loved this Ram Leela so much. He was very attracted to this Ram Leela, and he had so much sympathy for Sita Devi because the Maryada. And
I remember I went to drop in the flight a few years before he left this world. He went to Janakpur, Sita Devi's place, and I went to see him off at the airport in Delhi. So yeah, he was very much close to Sita Devi. He would say he would cry for hours after listening Ramayan, especially the Leela where she goes in the ground and Leela. So he said, yeah. So she had like the same Radharani's expansion. So why not? He would surely have.
Yeah. So this was a very sweet story. This is a Keshavji Gaudiya Math in 2001. I had only come 1 month before, I think in July. My birthday was in August. And my friend Madhaveti, she's there in the white chatter. The day before, she said, oh, Gurudev, tomorrow's Krishna Priya's birthday. And so Gurudev came back. He used to go on a morning walk every day in Mathura. And that morning, I didn't know she had told him, and I didn't tell anyone it was my birthday. So Gurudev came and he called me over, come here. And I got very afraid. Why is he calling me? So he just walked in and pointed at me and said, motion, come over here. So I came and I was very afraid. So I went down on my knees. Oh, what did I do wrong? I must have done something. And then he said, give me some flowers. He said to this Mathura Basis, they gave him some flowers. And then he started giving birthday blessings. Mangalam Bhavatu, Kalyanam Bhavatu, Radha Dasyam, may you get Radha Dasyam. And I was like so happy. I was crying. And I was thinking how he's so sweet. He's like this Mahabhagwat Guru from Golok Vrindavan. He's thinking, oh, he remembered it's my birthday today and he's giving me blessings. Like I'm so insignificant compared to him. But this is how he's treating all his disciples. Like, oh, he makes me feel like I'm the most near and dear to him. I'm Gurudev's favorite. But you can ask anybody, everybody feels, oh, I'm Gurudev's favorite. Gurudev loves me so much. He has this power. So I feel that's how Radha and Krishna are. We're serving Radharani in Goloka Vrindavan. We all think, oh yes.
I think that's the best birthday anybody can have.
Yes.
So you had the best birthday there. Nice.
Definitely. This is during the tour, we were always in the airport. And during this airport times, these were my favorite times. So I'm sitting right next to Gurudev with the white bee bag around my neck. But one thing Gurudev,
the blue here, right?
Yes, that's me there. So Gurudev on the airports, he was very he would always test us. So he would say here, oh, what is, do you know Dasimal Shiksha? Do you know Shikshastakam? Do you know Mana Shiksha? What are all the shlokas? And he said, I want my daughters especially to be very qualified. I don't want that my daughters will be like beggars. I don't want you to depend on anybody. That I want you to be very qualified. I want you to know all Shastra. I want you to preach boldly. Like and Keshavji Gaudiya Math, they have this lion on top of the elephant. The elephant represents this Mayavad philosophy. And the lion is like the Gaudiya philosophy that is ripping apart all the arguments of this Mayavad idea that I am God, you are God, we are all one. Let us just. So Gurudev, he was always testing us here on our shlokas. during our airport time, we were all sometimes scared because he would say, "What is Dasamal Shiksha? What is Shikshastakam? What is the first verse of Manas Shiksha? What is the meaning?" He would sit there and especially the people that were traveling with him, what is this meaning? What is Anya Vilasita Sunyam? What is the meaning of pure bhakti? He would quiz us, and then when we would different devotees would get to different destinations, you stand up and speak. So everyone was always on their toes. Oh, will Gurudev make me speak? Will he test me? So he said it's very important to know the Siddhanta. He was very Rasik, but he was very, very, he wanted us to be knowledgeable of the scriptures. He didn't just say, oh, just follow Raganuga Bhakti and read these high things. He actually told me, you have to read Jaiva Dharma. Oh, he said, I've read it over 100 times. He said, minimum 10 times you have to read it. He said 15 times you have to read like the tattva. And he said, you can read Rasa tattva 5 times, 10 times, no problem. But he said, you have to read Jaiva Dharma minimum 15 times. He said, I've read it over 100 times in my life. So you have to know all these tattvas, then you're my disciple. That was very nice.
Yeah. So which airport is this?
I don't remember because I went to so many. This is when I was getting my birthday. I had this little camera at the time, those film cameras, and my brother was here at the time. I said, I for some reason I happened to have it on me, and then I said, click one photo, because these were those film photos. It's not like today where we have the smartphones, you can get pictures. But I used to always take pictures of Gurudev. And one really sweet time, I'll send you the picture after, but we were in Jagannath Puri, and they wouldn't let the Western people into the Nila Madhava temple, one temple in Jagannath Puri. And so Gurudev, he sat outside with us Western devotees, and he said, oh, they think that I'm also Western because I have blue eyes. So if they don't let me into the temple, then I will also sit out here. So he sat on the stairs with us. He gave us all this beautiful Hari Katha while all the Indian devotees. He had so much compassion. And my first time I went to Jagannath Puri with Srila Gurudev, he took us to all the holy places. He was very merciful. Picked us up out of this hellish life and brought us to all the holy dhams. So we're so grateful. And he would go to each and every place and speak all the glories of the holy dhams. Yeah, so this is actually in Jagannath Puri. Speaking of Jagannath Puri, and he would take us for walks on this is the beach, the ocean there, right by Haridas Thakur Samadhi. And he would give us all this beautiful Hari Katha. And when we were in Jagannath Puri, my first time, we were standing outside the Jagannath temple, and I was very sad. I said, oh, I can't see Lord Jagannath. And I was thinking, like, I was standing and I was actually crying a little bit. Oh, I want to see Lord Jagannath. I want to see Lord Jagannath. And then Gurudev, he was in this big parikram group, like so many devotees, and he just came right beside me and he said, I want to show you something. I said, what? And he pointed to this Patita Pavan Jagannath. If you go to one special angle in the doorway of Jagannath temple, you can see Patita Pavan. You can see Lord Jagannath. He said, there, you see Lord Jagannath? I said, yeah. He said, now you have taken darshan. And I was like, so he knows everybody's heart. He's very very merciful. This is actually Gurudev's chastising me. I was doing he told us to do one drama play, I believe, and one place in one of the place tours in America. I think it was Texas. This is Houston, and my friends and I were very tired. We had been touring. We had been traveling so much. So we did some drama play, but we didn't put much effort into it. We did some like lazy play, like some simple story from Puranas, only 10 minutes long, no Bob, no Ras, nothing. And so after Gurudev said to me, why are you doing a drama play like this? I told you to do a nice drama play about Mahaprabhu, and you're doing some Purana story. What is going on? And so you can see my face here. Oh, Gurudev, I'm sorry. When we get to Vrindavan, I'll do a very nice Braja drama. He was very, very sweet, always encouraging us to be better. And he was definitely like, I always felt like he's like my father. He always giving chastisement and love and encouragement. And one of the other things I wanted to say was, I found out something very special. The Brajabasis were, just one second. Lavana, just be quiet, okay? My daughter's waking up. Oh, this is, speaking of my daughter, this is in, I got my oldest daughter, Nayana, she's 15 now. But when she was 1 year old, we went to the Houston Festival. And it was her first birthday, actually. So I said, Gurudev, can you give her blessings? So in the same way he was giving me I was about 27 or 28 here. So just like 10 years after my first birthday blessings in Mathura, he also was giving blessings to my daughter. My son as well, when we were in Badger in 2010, he gave so many blessings.
Wow.
He's very merciful. But yeah, I was saying one speciality that the Mathura Basis were also saying about Gurudev, which I didn't know before, was how, they call one thing when you take the baskets and you put them on your head. Gurudev, he introduced this kind of Brajabasi, Braj culture that because a lot of the Gaudiya Vaishnava culture is a Bengali culture. And they don't have so Gurudev kind of brought the two together. So when we take the baskets during Parikrama, during Govardhan Anuput festival, and we put them on our head, we would do that during Radhastami too. Gurudev would bring us to all the different homes in Mathura, and they would collect gifts for Radharani, and we would carry the baskets on our head. And also during Anuput, this is actually a very old, like, Braj tradition from many thousands of years, the gopis and all this stuff. But this was never, if you look at all the Gaudiya Mats, no one ever did these things. And Gurudev, he really introduced and brought back a lot of these old Braj traditions, as well as the Brajbasi songs, Raja Jana Manasukakari Radhe Shama Shama.
You want to sing the whole song with the mridang? You can do it.
I'm not much of a kitten here, but all these Braj songs they're like these hidden treasures. So even the history behind this song is Gurudev was on Parikrama, and these Brajabasis, they were singing the song, and it's just like an old folk song. It was never written down anywhere. So Gurudev, he had so many bhavs in remembering Radha and Krishna, and then he wrote, Param Gurudev wrote Narayan and Balihari. Look, Param Gurudev saw how Srila Gurudev became so amazed and full of so many bhavs. He's seeing these Brajbasis, how they naturally have so much love for Krishna. And then Param Gurudev saying, oh, Narayan and Balihari, God, Sham, Sham, Sham. So Gurudev really brought and preserved many of these and meshed together this Braj culture along, because from the Gaudiya Vaishnava, a lot of it comes from Bengal. So one of Gurudev's specialities too is to really mix together the Braj, Gaur Leela and Radha Krishna Leela. Even one time in 2002, when they had a split from Gaudiya to Srimati, Gurudev brought this Gaur Mandal Parikram to Vrindavan. And I don't know if you were there at that time, it's very nice. And we did all Gaur Mandal Parikrama in Vrindavan. And it was so special. He always teaching us that actually Vrindavan and Gaur Mandal, they're non-different from each other. So we have to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by the mercy we contain Radha and Krishna. So yeah, and Gurudev was very, very merciful as well to his daughters, which is one thing that was also that he gave to us. As he always said, I have more love for my daughters than my sons. He was, I want you to be qualified. And one of the things that was very taboo at the time, one time he came in my dream and he said, oh, you should paint with Shamarani Didi. Then I went to Gurudev and I said, Gurudev, in my dream you said you should paint with Shamarani Didi. And Shamarani Didi was there at the time of the darshan. He said, yes, yes, I called you for this. And he said you should paint at the time Radha Vinod Bihari in Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And all the people at the time, this wasn't before this 2001, so this was before the split. They said, oh, how can you let a woman on the altar? Women can't go on the altar. And Gurudev actually, one of the points that during the split, they said, oh, you allowed Shamarani Didi and women on the altar. How could you do this? But Gurudev, he never saw like man, woman, this, that. We're all souls. He would treat everyone equally. There was none of this like cultural sexism, basically, which is kind of traditionally passed down. And he just gave everyone an opportunity. And so he would even come on the altar and direct us, oh, you paint Radharani's eyes like this, you paint Krishna's eyes like this. Well, it was an amazing experience I had with Shamarani Didi too. She was very special. I used to get classes from Umi Didi as well in Mathura, and she has so many beautiful memories with Srila Gurudev, Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And another really thing I'm really grateful for too is Srila Gurudev. When I wasn't able to go with him, he left me with so many like beautiful qualified Vaishnavas that I could travel. I spent lots of time traveling with Sripad Premanand Prabhuji and also Bon Maharaj and Sridhar Maharaj and so many beautiful Vaishnavas. So we got to go and travel and see all the holy dham places. And one of the places we got to go, that Gurudev encouraged us to go, was we went to Devananda Gaudiya Math, and I got to meet Srila Trivakam Goswami Maharaj. And Gurudev, his connection with Srila Vaman Maharaj, they're like the three pillars of Gaudiyanta society. So I heard so many stories about Srila Trivakam Maharaj. Oh, he's very scary, he likes to chastise people. But I was very excited. Yes, I have to go see Mahabhagwat, because if I heard they're just like Gurudev, they're like, and I thought how lucky I am to go take darshan. So we came to Navadvip, and Srila Trivakam Maharaj and Srila Gurudev always had this. They would always have this play fighting. Srila Trivakam Maharaj would quote Gurudev so that he would, like a beehive, all the honey would come out. He would say, oh, Krishna is better than Radharani. And then Gurudev would say, oh, and then he would tell all the glories of Radharani, and Srila Trivakam would just relish this. So I always heard about these beautiful leelas. So I went and I saw Srila Trivakam Maharaj. He was sitting in front of the altar at Devananda Gaudiya Math, and we touched his feet. And he said, he was such a humble, like sweet Vaishnava. He said, oh, now you touched my feet and you want to touch your japa mala, you have to go wash your hands. Just by touching me, you're contaminated. Like, this is how humble he is. I'm just like some random Western person, young person, and he's.
Oh. Yeah, you can unmute.
But yes, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. And then he started asking us, oh, who do you like better, Radharani or Krishna? And I said, oh, I like Radharani. And then my friend Johnny, he said, oh, Krishna's better. He said, yes, she knows. She's on my side. It was a very beautiful experience. And I got to have darshan of Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj as well a couple times. We were traveling with Prabhuji, and we went to the Mad in Calcutta. And he hadn't spoken in many years. He was doing his bhajan. But at that time, he spoke a little bit, and everyone was very happy. And another time that I saw him, it was just, I think, end of 2001. But we were at Devananda Gaudiya Math, and everyone used to do parikrama Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj. And I sat there and we did pranam. And this was, I think, one of the last times he spoke. He started, his sevak was holding his hand, and then he started speaking on the verse of Bilva Mangal Thakur. He was saying, oh, Krishna, don't let go of my hand, bring me to Vrindavan. He was speaking in Bengali, and everybody was weeping. So just, the point is, sadhu sangha, and if anyone has the opportunity to be with the devotees, this is like, if I have anything to say in my life, it's definitely that we're all in this fire, blazing fire material existence, and the sadhus, they're like our battery. It's like a charger. They're our connection, direct connection. We can't go to Krishna, we can't go to Golok Vrindavan, we can't do bhajan and sadhana by our own hard endeavors. We can read books our whole life, we can chant Harinam, we can do everything, but if we don't have this connection to sadhu, if we don't have sadhu sangha, then this is just like it's sadhana. You can get some sukriti, and then from that sukriti, you can be in sadhu sangha. So Gurudev always said the essence of all advice is tanam rupa charidari sukritananu. This is in Rupa Goswami's telling that you have to be in Vrindavan to anugami. You have to be in anugatya. You have to be under the anugatya and the guidance of these pure, anugami, these associates of Radha and Krishna, because without sadhu sangha, then our batteries will just dry. we can. Gurudev came and he gave everyone this plug-in. You have to connect. You have Srila Prabhupad I, he gives everyone this life, new connection. So the most important, lesson I could say to everyone is if you're not in sadhu sangha, you can never be happy. So many people, like if you say we have Indian audience, they want to go to Canada, they want to make money, they think this will make me happy. I was in Canada, I had business, I had a nice car, nice house, but this will never make your soul happy. Our real soul happiness is if we find sadhus and we do sadhu sangha, and everything we do. This is one example they're giving in Chaitanya Charitamrita and Harikatha. Gurudev telling many times that if there is one lady, she's having some lover, she will do everything in her house very nicely. She'll be the perfect wife, she'll be the perfect mother, she's cooking everything very nicely, she's not showing anybody. But anytime she has just one opportunity to meet with her lover, then she will go, and that's all she's thinking about. She's doing everything outside perfectly, but inside she's only contemplating on this. So we have to be like this with our bhakti, that okay, outside we're working a job, outside we're taking care of our family and kids, but in our mind we just have to be completely absorbed in Govind, Damodar, Madhaveti, just only thinking of Braj and Krishna. And how can we do this? This comes automatically when we're in sadhu sangha. So we should. I'm going to end here because I have to go. But
before you go, I have some more pictures for you.
Okay. Oh, this is in Houston in 2009. This is Gurudev. He was giving everyone a darshan. He was just sitting there after his massage, and he was giving everybody darshan. So I was very happy to be there with him. And he's my daughter's the same day he gave blessings. This is in 2010. Actually, this is the last time I had like an actual conversation with Gurudev. This is my son Deva. He's now brahmachari in the temple playing mridanga. But every day Gurudev used to walk by and tap my son on the head, give him blessings. But one of the main things he said, this is my daughter there with the red bow, and then I'm holding my son. But one of the main things when I went into Grihastha life, he told me, you will never be happy. Like he said, you have to stay in sadhu sangha. You can do, but he said you will not be happy. So in 2010, after I left my brahmacharini life in Mathura and I got into Grihastha ashram, Gurudev was very merciful, blessing my children. And the last thing he said to me, oh, you made the decision to go into Grihastha life. He said, now are you happy? And I said, no, Gurudev. I'm only happy with you. I'm only happy with sadhu sangha. He said, just see. So this was his main thing, is that we cannot be happy in our life unless we're with the sadhu sangha. And leaving sadhu sangha to go and try and think, I'll be happy if I get married, I'll be happy if I can make a big business, I'll be happy if I make some money, if I have so much wealth, if I have such a nice family. Actually, this is not happiness. Happiness is inside with our connection to Radha and Krishna. Happiness comes from Guru Seva, from Guru Bhakti, chanting Harinam, being absorbed, singing Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. This is a Gurudev every day. Just singing, being a sadhu sangha and singing the glories of Radharani, this is real happiness. You can see. That's why I look so happy in all these pictures, because I'm with sadhu. Without sadhu, then we can never be happy. So I would encourage all our viewers that find one pure sadhu, and like we're burning right now in the fire of material existence. Our heart is burning. We're looking for happiness everywhere. If you can't find a sadhu, you read these books. You know, Gurudev spent many hours and years of his life giving us these books. So we really have to try to absorb ourselves in his Harikatha, his Kirtan, his teachings, and we can really connect like this. And if we pray, then you'll definitely send someone, arrange for us to come to
So nice.
Vrindavan.
So
Thank
nice
you.
to hear today Didi's experiences and realizations, and the journey she did with such a high-class devotee. Not only Srila Gurudev, but she also met so many other Mahabhagwats. And we can take a lot of things from today's session in our life. I would just like to add up all what she said. First thing she started with is, unless I meet a guru like Prabhupada, I won't take diksha. So that must be the conviction of people who don't have a guru yet. So you should desire for a guru who is high class, who is expert in bhajan. Only then will you get one. If you desire any other kind of guru, you will get the same whatever you desire. If you want guru who give you material benefit, you will get a guru like that, because God is very merciful. He will give you what you desire. So that seed of desire which she had has became such a nice, beautiful tree. We can see it now. Everything manifested because of that desire she had in her heart that she wanted a guru like this. And then she said very nice thing, and she said she was in ISKCON and people advised her, don't meet Srila Gurudev. And she said it was a free advertising. Then she thought there must be something I must meet. So this is
many spies would go, oh, we need to go spy, see what has happened. Then they never returned.
Yeah.
They lost their hearts.
So if you want someone to do something, just tell him not to do it and he will surely do it there. Even in the material life, if you want the kids to be, we will always tell them, no, don't go drink, don't do this. And they are surely going to do it, because otherwise they will not have done it. They don't know anything about it. But now that you told them, so they know that I must try it. There must be something. That's why he's telling me not to do it. So it's never a good idea to tell somebody not to do something. Instead, just do what is right and he will follow you. So I agree with her totally that it is a free advertising. And to all those people, ISKCON said not to meet him. They all went and met him. And not only they met him, they surrendered to him. And they developed an eternal relationship with him. So yeah, it is a free advertising. And we thank people who did this advertising for our Gurudev. It's really nice. And then the first time she was attracted to Gurudev's photograph. Just imagine, not Gurudev. She just saw the picture and she started crying. And yesterday we had a program where so many Gurudev's grand disciples came. They never saw Gurudev. And they were crying seeing Gurudev's pictures. They are having dreams of Srila Gurudev. All Pujapad, Bhaktivedanta, Sridhar Maharaj's disciples were there on the program because he was speaking. And I was so touched by all their realizations that even without any connection, they were having so many experiences. So same thing. And then she thought, he just came for me. My heart was crying. If our heart is crying, God will surely manifest something for us. But the problem is our heart is not crying. It is crying for material things. It is not crying for spiritual. It is not crying for Guru. It is not crying for Thakurji. It is not crying for Radharani. We are crying, but for material stuff. So, and then special mantra Gurudev gave, Govind, Damodar, Madhaveti. Yes, at the end she also remembered this. This we can do anytime, whatever we are doing, but this can go on. Like Gurudev used to say, gopis used to sing all the time, whatever work they're doing, but they will sing Govinda, Damodar, Madhaveti. And then she said, one glance and you are finished. I've heard so many people say this line, and it is so true, because you go to him with any bhav, even opposite bhav, even you are not liking him, you go to him. The moment you see him, you're gone. Then you'll forget everything and you'll just surrender. This is how Mahabhagwats are. And then in the first meeting, very, very nice, she described that how she was yearning to meet a guru. And when she met him, she said, I've been waiting for you. She wept for 1 hour. And she said, didn't know why. And Gurudev also said, I've been waiting for you so long. So it's a meeting of two souls. Gurudev never sees your outer covering. He just sees your substance. What is in there? He's never seeing your packing, whether you're male, female, beautiful, ugly, black, white, or whatever. He just sees your soul's journey from where you're coming, how many lifetimes you're spent in this world, and where you're going. So, and she also said how he used to joke on the boat ride, Mahabhagwat coming from Golok Vrindavan, but joking with us. Yeah, he comes to our level just to be merciful to us, to help us get out of this mess, which we have created ourselves, and now we are crying. So, yeah. And then this is really, I liked very much what she said now. This one, the statement she made, you have to spend every moment with him. If you find a Mahabhagwat, you have to spend every moment with him. Don't let go, because Mahabhagwats are not easy to find. Now we are crying for Mahabhagwats. After Gurudev has left, our hearts are yearning where to find Mahabhagwat. It is not very easy, but if you find one, don't waste even a moment. What she did as a 17-year-old girl. As a 17-year-old, you have so many thoughts in your mind. You want to make your life, you want to make your career, you want to make your family. But look at her. She left everything and ran on the world tour behind Gurudev. This is how our heart's yearning should be. When you see a Mahabhagwat, and not only she was saying, she followed it also very, very to the last word, that she did not waste any time. She lived in Mathura for 4 years. She was with Gurudev, and whatever time she could spend, she spent. I hope you're not in a hurry. I'll take 5-10 minutes more.
No
Is it okay?
problem.
Okay.
It's okay.
So if we have faith in Krishna, Krishna will arrange everything. Money will come, she said. Whatever is in your bhagya and your prarabdha, you'll get it, like Prahlad Maharaj teaching. Same, he also said, don't waste your time. Just concentrate on your bhajan. Rest, everything will be already arranged. Gurudev used to say it is already arranged, but we somehow do not have so much faith, and we somehow have more faith in money, more faith in material things, that we put most of our time into this and very little time in our bhajan. How it should be totally other way around. Most of our time should go in bhajan, and sometime maybe no time. If we can go no time, it is even better. What she's doing right now, she's living in Vrindavan and doing only seva. So, and next statement she made was even more strong. Do or die, I have to be with Srila Gurudev. See, this is the conviction we need. Do or die. Do we have this? I don't think so. We have it. If we have conviction like this, that whatever come may, I will be associating with this Mahabhagwat, then his mercy will surely flow. Then she talked about Raghunath Das Goswami drama, Gurudev deeply weeping, everyone weeping. And she said, till now, all the dramas were for entertainment. He left his cloth there, weeping cloth, which he took. So this is the difference with being with Mahabhagwat. All your entertainment will become bhakti. And if you're not with Mahabhagwat, all your bhakti will be entertainment also, only. Like she was talking, before she did so many dramas, but they were only entertainment. There was no pran in them, there's no life there. But now she is doing drama, she's weeping, people are weeping, Gurudev is weeping, because it has life, it has that substance which we are all looking for. And yesterday I shared one very nice Gurudev's video where he was weeping, just remembering Raghunath Das Goswami's writings and remembering Radha Kund. I think I can share it again today. It is only 50 seconds and you can all hear it. Those of you saw yesterday, it's okay, but you can see it again. How he goes into tears when he remembers Radharani. He cannot stay calm. And so I'm going to show you right now. Again. It's only 50 seconds. So look here.
उसमें से ये रघुनाथ दास गोस्वामी थे, उन्होंने ये पद लिखा, कभी राधा कुंड में हा राधे हा राधे हा राधे कर। कभी श्याम कुंड में उनकी हृदयेश्वरी आराध्या देवी राधिका थी। वो तो कहते हैं कि मुझे ब्रजवास से कोई लाभ नहीं, हमें राधा कुंड में रहने से भी कोई लाभ नहीं, हमें कृष्ण से भी कोई जरूरत नहीं है यदि राधा जी की कृपा नहीं हो गई।
So you saw that how his throat was full, he was unable to speak for some time, and then he said Sham Kund. After Radha Kund, he took so much pause. So that's how his bhavs were, and that's how he spread everywhere, whosoever he met, you can see it. So, and oh, this is also very nice. A very good thing she said. Didn't know much tattva, but was immersed in bliss. This is what really matters. You can read Shastras as much as you want. You can know all the dates, all the history, all the data. It's of no use unless you have that in your heart. A person may not read anything, may not know any tattva, but if he's in company with a Mahabhagwat, he will feel it in his heart. His tears will roll down. And a guy who is reading Shastras for his lifetime will be hard like stone. He will not have any bhav. He will only know data. Even Google knows all the data. You can ask Google anything. What is the birth year of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It will tell you. In which year he took sannyas, it will tell you. No big deal. But big deal is to feel the prem, feel the love in your heart, feel the longing which Gurudev is giving in all his disciples, and which Didi also experienced and experiencing it now also. And that's why she said, we were all in bliss. So bliss will come not by reading with your mind. Bliss will come feeling with your heart. It's a matter of heart, not of mind or body. So I really liked what she said and experienced. Connect with his teachings and books, and he is more merciful to the next generation. Yes, I told you yesterday we saw the praman, the proof of that, how the next generation is, without even seeing him, they're connecting to him and they are getting benefit. And this was also really very nice, what she described in Hawaii. If you meditate on the beauty of Krishna, then Maya can never attack you. That is the only way to protect ourselves from Maya. Otherwise, we are all very fallen. We have no other way to escape. We are beaten already by Maya. But if we know the beauty of Krishna, if somebody introduces us to the beauty of Krishna, like a person like Gurudev, then no Maya can come near, because Krishna himself is Mayapati. He is the husband of Maya. He is in charge, and Maya is his, not ours. So if we go take shelter of Krishna, then crossing Maya will be very, very easy. Without our knowing also, we'll cross it. We will not even realize that we have crossed it. So that is the trick. That is the secret. That if you surrender to Mahabhagwat and Krishna, if you know the beauty of Krishna, no beauty of this world can attract us. If we are not introduced to this supreme beauty, then everything will attract us. Nobody will spare you then. So then she talked about Braj cultures and Bengali cultures together. Yes, this is a specialty of Gurudev. I think Gurudev is the only prominent acharya from North, which I know. Maybe there could be others also, but I think I know only him. Rest, all of our acharyas are from Bengal or East Bengal, which is Bangladesh now. But Gurudev is a very special acharya who is from North India and very expert in Mahaprabhu also. So he's a Bengali and a North Indian together. You can't call him anything actually. He's all over. He's Mahabhagwat. He's from that world. So yeah, he brought these cultures together. He taught us how to carry those baskets we used to do during Govardhan Puja, all of us. And sadhana, she talked about sadhana will not take you to Krishna. It will give you sukriti to get satsang. Sadhana will give sukriti to take satsang. Satsang is the one which will take us to Krishna, which will deliver us from this world. So we should stress more on satsang than on sadhana, but sadhana is also required. And then lastly, she summed up everything by Rupa Goswami is also summed up. Tannam Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasna Mansi Niyojya Tistan Brajet Tadunuragi Jananugami Kalam Naid Akhilam Iti Upadesha Saram. Iti Upadesha Saram. This is the gist of all the teachings of the world. What you should do. Tannaram Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu. Do the kirtan of Lord's holy names. Smrityo Kamen and Rasna Mansi Niyojya, and put your heart into remembering the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Tistan Brajet Tadanuragi Jananugami. Live in Braj Dham like Didi is living right now. And not live alone on your own, privately. No, this will not help. Tadanuragi Jananugami. You should live with people who are immersed in this prem, in this love, and you should follow what they are doing. That is called Brajvas, not living on your own. So, Kalam Naid Akhilam Iti Upadesha Saram. In this whole time, whole world, there is no better Upadesh than this. Srila Rupa Goswami is saying this in Updeshamrit. And I see that this life totally as per the shlok. She is living in Dham, she is living under guidance, she is doing Harinam, she is chanting, she is immersed in prayer. And this is all what we all should also aim for. Those who are not able to do this now, like people like myself, someday we'll be able to go to the Dham and live with some high-class Vaishnav in his guidance and follow this path of bhakti. This is all our wish, and we totally yearn for this. We have to cry from our heart for this kind of situation. And I'm sure Guru and Krishna is very merciful. If we cry from bottom of our heart, they will surely arrange for us. I offer my pranams to Didi and her life, beautiful teaching, which she has taken from Gurudev. Thank you so much for being with us and telling us so much.
Thank you for your beautiful seva. You know, they say the Vaishnavas are telling that the only way to keep Gurudev like alive in this world is through his teachings, through his speaking about him. Because if we're not speaking about him, if we're not spreading his glories, if we're not speaking his Harikatha, then this is like people forget and everything disappears. So to keep Gurudev alive and here, we always have to be spreading his glories, always speaking about him. So I really appreciate the seva that you're doing. This is like unimaginable, unpayable.
Thank you so much. I offer my pranams to our Srila Gurudev, Nitya Leela Pravishtom, Vishnupad, Ashtotasa, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaji, entire Guru Parampara, and Srimati Krishna Priya Didi, all of the great Vaishnavas who are helping us do this program, listening us, and my pranams to all of you.